In this video, I'm going to teach you the simple method that I used that allowed me to go from this to this. But here's the thing. This is not just for advanced players. This works for anyone at any level. So let's go ahead and dive in. But first, let me just change the shirt. Let me ask you a question with a really obvious answer. Can an Olympic sprinter become fast just by jogging? So why then are we not training speed every single day if your goal is speed? And look, if you're saying my goal isn't speed, well, that's fine. Then you don't really have to focus on this. But just hear me out on something. Speed is not everything. Speed doesn't mean you're good at guitar, but it is a tool. If I'm writing or improvising and I'm just hearing this fast line in there, even if it's just a quick one, and I know it'll sound really sick in the song or the improvisation, but then I go to do it and my technique holds me back, that's the worst. So I think everyone should build some amount of speed so they can use it when it's necessary, when the music calls for it. So again, the question is, why am I not training speed strategically every day like a sprinter does? Well, the answer usually is because I just sound sloppy when I try to go fast. It's not fun to play fast because I just sound sloppy. Okay, that's valid, but here's the thing. There's actually a way to train at really high speeds without sounding sloppy and without developing bad habits. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that through an approach called speed bursts. Speed bursts are short bursts of notes that train our fast twitch muscle fibers similar to how an Olympic sprinter trains. Now, like I mentioned before, we need to be able to train these fast twitch muscle fibers without developing bad habits. So here's how you do that. You start with just a few amount of notes. You find the edge of your ability, where things are just a little bit sloppy, and then from there, you slowly increase it until you really feel like you're pushing it to where it really starts falling apart. This is the speed that you're going to start doing your speed burst training. If it's too sloppy here, then you can decrease the amount of notes a little bit. But you have to remember that the purpose of this approach is not to practice the whole solo. It's to practice a very small section of the solo in order to train your fast twitch muscle fibers. So here's what that would look like in the solo that we're working on. I'm gonna go up to 115 because this is really pushing it for me. And I'm going to just pick a few notes, maybe on one or two strings of the solo. I could work on that section or I could work on this section. And it's gonna feel fairly overwhelming. So chances are you might need to slow down the metronome a little bit or just do fewer notes. Or stay on one string. Or you can even do a regression further back and just isolate your right hand. Add a string. I can't even tell you how many times I've done speed bursts with just the right hand or tapping with just the left hand. Okay, so you can do speed bursts with both hands. You can do it with isolated right hand or isolated left hand. The purpose is to train your fast twitch muscle fibers to just get used to those higher speeds. It's not to play it perfect. It's not to play the whole solo. It's to train your muscles so that when you gradually start increasing your speed, it'll start feeling more natural at those high speeds. And the only way to really start becoming comfortable with these higher speeds is to train every day, to train your speed every day in this manner. If that's something you really want to do, speed, it should be a top priority. Common mistakes that I see: compulsively pushing speed without breaks and for too long. So if you're going, and you're just doing it over and over without breaks like this, that's a big mistake, and it's really easy to fall into that trap to just doing something over and over and over mindlessly. You don't need to train at a high speed for a long time. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes once you start getting used to it is fine. And you should take breaks in between reps. Rest. Rest. Relax. Do a little bit of a slower speed to remind yourself how it's supposed to feel. then go back into it. A sprinter isn't going to sprint for 20 minutes straight without breaks in between their sets. Another mistake that I see is tension. Locking out your fingers in your left hand or locking out your wrist or your grip in your right hand. So watch out for that. So just to recap, we learned that in order to play at high speeds, we need to train at high speeds every day. And it's possible to do this even before you're ready if you just find the sweet spot with the metronome and the amount of notes that you're sprinting at. We need to talk about the most important piece, and that is how to practice effectively. We're going to put this all together into a high leverage daily practice system. See you there.